This year, the Tucson Festival of Books has established the Founders Award, which will be presented annually to a distinguished author whose literary achievements have captivated our imagination and whose body of work will be an inspiration to future generations of readers, writers, and book lovers. Tonight, we honor one of the literary legends, an icon in the crime fiction genre. Elmore Leonard has an uncanny ability to render dialogue on the printed page. British novelist Martin Amis says, "Leonard's prose make Raymond Chandler look clumsy." And Stephen King calls Elmore Leonard the great American writer. He's written 44 books, many of which have been adapted to film.
I always begin with a type of person, and as I get to know that particular type, he becomes real to me. I have to give him a name. Names are so important, and I have to have the right name or he won't talk. Frank's. A good guy named Frank won't talk. I don't know why. So, Jack will talk.
Jack Foley.
Raylan Givens.
Bob Valdez.
This is Majestic.
I'm Chili Palmer.
I'm Ray Barboni from Miami.
Jackie Brown.
Ordell Roby.
I'm Max Cherry.
This is Ray Nicolette.
Blackbird.
Blackbird. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I started writing westerns and then crime. And before you know it, I had sold some to Hollywood. The style I developed, inspired originally by Ernest Hemingway, was always writing from a character's point of view. Write in their language.
I'd like you to meet my associate, Bear. Movie stuntman, champion weightlifter, as you might have noticed. Throws things out I don't want.
I think you ought to turn around and go back to Miami.
You're a stuntman, huh?
Yeah.
You any good?
Am I any good?
Oh! Oh! That's not bad for a guy his size.
That's Beaumont.
Who's Beaumont?
An employee I had to let go.
I think if people are trying to write like writers, they're gonna tie themselves in knots. I think they have to find their sound. If you find the best way you most naturally tell a story, then it's going to be a pleasure to write.
I think the more you write, the harder it gets, because you don't want to write the same scenes over and over. You want to keep it fresh. I'm in my 80s and I still love to write.
Unfortunately, Elmore's plane from Detroit was canceled today, and he wasn't able to get another flight. Accepting for Elmore is his son and Tucsonan, Chris Leonard. Chris, come on up. Chris, we've been fortunate to have you and your dad at the first two festivals, and we're honored to present Elmore with the first Tucson Festival of Books Founders Award. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
I spoke with my father today on the telephone, and he wanted me, number one, to convey how disappointed he was that he could not make it to this. It would have been his third book festival. But I don't think anyone is more disappointed than I am, because this is the time I get to see him since I live here. He comes every year with my brother Peter, who has written a few novels, and I am halfway through my first. And I know that this would have been my third year appearing on a panel with my father, talking about writing my first novel, that I think people are getting tired of hearing still writing. So I asked my father if he had some advice on what I should say to the people in his acceptance speech. And he said, well, of course you're going to tell them how disappointed I am that I can't be there. I mean, and I told him, yes, a lot of people will be disappointed also. he also said, you know, if you could, use the phrase, so gosh darn happy. And I thought, what do you mean? That's not something, how am I going to say that? And he said, practice. So I feel it is important that I tell you that I am so gosh darn happy to accept this award for my father, and thank you all very much.